Just a step before giving up, Ukrainians were amazingly backed up by Elon and his incredible Starlink system. Without a doubt, Ukraine was also heavily backed by other NATO nations, the defense king, the US, and the United Nations. But by installing terminals, the tables turned all around for Ukraine as well as for the Russians. How does this Starlink system help Ukrainians? Do SpaceX or Elon benefit from donating this incredible system to Ukraine? From helping drones to attack Russian combat equipment to helping civilians to know how their near and dear ones are across the boundaries, this satellite-based internet system entirely changed how the wars are fought, eventually helping Ukrainians to take a step ahead in the victorious journey. Let's buckle up to find out some exciting facts about this breathtaking, powerful and massive system donated by Elon. The initial days of Russia's invasion of Ukraine left thousands of civilians and soldiers dead, and many of them were severely injured as well. Being a small and feeble country, they were struck in the worst condition ever. However, they did not give up and tried to defend themselves despite all the setbacks in and around Kiev. Later on, the United States, European nation and other NATO nations donated billions of dollars for daily requirements, tons of weapons and other assistance to Ukraine as well. All of the nations were amazingly backing up Ukraine and their forces, but the wild card and unexpected lifeline for the Ukraine force was Musk's Starlink system. This Starlink system by Musk was based on a cluster of table-sized satellites flying as high as 130 miles above Ukraine. This system enabled high-speed internet connection throughout Ukraine, and with the installation of this lifeline, Ukrainian soldiers and the public have extremely benefited from this. How is the Starlink system helping Ukraine forces? So, to give a clear picture of Ukraine and Starlink terminals, almost 10,000 of those Starlink terminals are now actively operating in Ukraine. These terminals are pretty small, about 23 inches wide compared to cell phone transmission towers and satellite dishes. And the best and most appealing part about these terminals is that they can be readily available to move for retaliation and detection. From the entire Ukraine force, it is Alexei and his fellow artillerymen who are really amazed because of this incredible system. Every time they're all set to launch a missile or deploy a drone, they thank the world's richest man, Elon, for donating the Starlink system to them. They follow a usual plan during the counterattack or artillery barrage. Just before the launch, they dial up superiors for last-minute orders, and this smooth communication is only possible because of a rectangular white and grey Starlink satellite receiver, which is amazingly concealed in a shallow pit in the garden of an abandoned cottage. So now we can see how smoothly military communications can be carried out because of this Starlink satellite system. When drones appear in the modernized defense world, the Starlink system is a real assistance for them when under operation. This is because this Starlink satellite helps Starlink to drop bombs on the Russian forward position. Coming to the benefits of this Starlink system to the public, Ukraine's 93rd Mechanized Brigade helps to inform family and friends that their loved ones are safe on the battlefield through daily encrypted satellite messages. This Starlink satellite system was highly beneficial after a point when all the local cell phone networks had lost their servers during heavy shelling. Also, civilians can stay in touch with their near and dear ones in besieged cities via encrypted satellites. In war-torn Ukraine, more than 100,000 people have downloaded the Starlink app, and now it's the most popular app in the nation during wartime. This Starlink system is also highly beneficial to the president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, as he conducts regular meetings with global politicians and keeps his millions of followers up to date about what's the situation in the war and what they're planning to do and so on. It's not only Ukrainians who are benefiting from the Starlink system, but this conflict also has provided Musk and SpaceX fledgling satellite network with a trial by fire. Soldiers, civilians and also political personnel were impressed by the extraordinary performance of the system. They also tried their hands at transporting thousands of backpack-sized satellite stations to the war zone and saving them from hilarious attacks. Vice Prime Minister of Ukraine, Mikhailo Fedorov, said, "We've got more than 11,000 Starlink stations and they help us in our everyday fight on all the fronts. We're ready, even if there is no light, no fixed internet, through generations using Starlink to renew any connection in Ukraine." Amazing, isn't it? Before we dive deeper to know everything about the Starlink system and its fascinating facts, make sure that you subscribe to our channel to know more about the incredible drones and defense equipment that'll revolutionize the defense system. Circumstances felt the need to install this Starlink system. Russians planned the foolproof assault against the Ukrainians in the last few days of February. Just an hour before the Russians attacked Ukraine, there was an unexpected cyber attack by the Kremlin which badly affected an American satellite provider, Viasat. This Viasat, an American satellite provider, was actively used by the Ukrainians to communicate with the frontline troops. However, this insane cyber attack flushed a dark night and day for Ukrainians. The entire internet connections were crippled, which ultimately resulted in the loss of military communications. What now? Today, when the immense need for a powerful satellite-based internet connection was felt. In just a single tweet, the president of Ukraine said, "And Elon Musk, while you try to colonize Mars, Russia tries to occupy Ukraine. While your rockets successfully land from space, Russian rockets attack Ukrainian civil people. We ask you to provide Ukraine with Starlink stations and to address sane Russians to stand." This triggered Elon to help the suffering Ukrainians. Elon replied to the tweet by exclaiming that Starlink equipment was transported to the Ukraine and now internet service is active. The first batch was already sent to Ukraine and the second slot was almost ready to be sent so that the government can take optimum steps to save fellow citizens. It's so amazing to hear about instances, true or not, without any debate, no government interference or any parliamentary control, just a good relationship between a politician and Elon led to this amazing installation of systems in Ukraine. And just to make a note of it, all the Starlink systems were sent to Ukraine as a donation. No charges were charged by Elon to send such fantastic satellite-based internet systems. Is it only Elon and its company, SpaceX, which has this satellite-based internet connection? Without a doubt, Musk is amazingly grabbing all of the spotlight by donating some Starlink connecting systems to Ukraine. However, there is no space where competitors do not hop in and bring out something powerful, which will be a treat to other players in the market. The e-commerce giant Amazon is actively spreading its paws by planning to launch global broadband internet via satellite under the project Kuiper. A couple of months before, Amazon officially declared its plan to launch as many as 83 rockets as part of the project. However, these numbers are pretty low when compared to Starlink, so Amazon is a real competitor for Starlink, but to a lesser degree. The next challenger for Starlink is OneWeb, which is a real threat to Elon, as this satellite operator is planning to lay down a giant flotilla in the orbit. Another upcoming player in the Indian telecoast is Reliance Jio, which will be a game changer in the market and will possibly make the competition global. Nevertheless, if all these upcoming or established players in Starlink, Amazon, OneWeb and Reliance Jio excel and be successful in bringing all-over satellite broadband coverage, then it will be super easy to access high-speed data from almost any location on Earth at any point of time. Amazing, isn't it? But will this be feasible and economical for the masses? Reaching out to every person in this populated globe is really difficult because bringing terrestrial broadband to remote rural areas will be super expensive. So without any government subsidies, it's pretty difficult to reach out to large masses. The initial satellite communication system, which the US government and Viasat owned in joint collaboration, was super expensive, and even the bandwidth capacity was far less. Nevertheless, decades pass on, and so new technologies show up. With the changing era, we have the new generation of satellite broadbands which are excellent in their performance with faster speeds at lower prices. With all these going on, it's pretty clear how amazingly Elon's satellite-based internet system Starlink is a game changer for Ukrainians and its military forces. Ukraine now has a wild card with them, and almost everything now can be operated through that system. Agree or not? Saw how immensely Ukrainians have benefited from this system. So what are your thoughts on Elon's satellite-based internet system Starlink? Will this system continue to be a game changer for other nations as well? Are Elon and his company SpaceX in the limelight now? Do let us know your views in the comments below. And before we wrap up, if you're interested in other fascinating things about combat drones, then make sure to check out our video on how Elon Musk's Starlink system helped drones. You can go check this out after the video. And if you enjoyed watching it, then make sure to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content. See you in the next video.